I've got the UPS portion installed in the top shelf, the battery in the middle shelf, and the transformer module that steps the voltage down from either 208 or 240 to 120. So, and I'll show you how those get connected on the back. Moving around to the back of the unit, we also have our P91 XBDM A, P91A XBDM. This gives the user the opportunity to remove this plate and rotate this switch to bypass the UPS and put utility power directly to the load. Mounting the XBDM to the battery module. The XBDM comes with two brackets. The battery module has two screw holes in this angled bracket that screws into the back of the XBDM and then into the cabinet. Now, it also comes with a standard 19-inch rack rail kit that could be an option as well to zero-U mount the XBDM behind the battery or UPS module, depending on the depth of the enclosure. So looking at the back of the system, you can see a number of cords coming in and out of the XBDM, the UPS, and then the battery module and the transformer on the bottom here. These wires here that get installed in the back of the UPS come with the bypass, and they mate up. You can see it says UPS output and UPS input, and that matches red and black. And then we've got input and output on the back of the UPS. So I have those matching red to red, black to black, and then they simply so I've made those connections. Moving to the bypass input and bypass output. Here we've got optional IEC connections to plug directly in, and then or we connect into the transformer. So, and I will show you how to do that here. So I've made the output connection from the bypass to the transformer module. One thing to be sure of is on the transformer module, there's a switch. The UPS will operate at either 208 or 240 volts. It's important that you select either 208 or 240 volt based on the UPS input to ensure that we have 120 volts line to neutral on our 120 volt receptacles. The next connection is for the battery cable, the battery module connecting to the UPS. You can see the plug on coming from the battery module and the connector at the back of the UPS. It simply aligns and plugs in. One more connection from the bypass to the UPS. This connector is important, the little RJ45 connector. This isn't really communication, but plug it into the back of the UPS, what that actually does is when there's a micro switch behind this plate. So when the plate is removed, the micro switch is released, and it actually sends the UPS into a mode of static bypass to avoid backfeeding the inverter of the UPS. The last connection for the UPS is the utility input. So I have my cord coming from my cord here, coming from my drop, and I've plugged that in. So now that everything's connected in the back, the last step is to install the battery sleeves in the battery module. At the front of the battery module, you can remove that front bezel, and there's 4 screws that hold the cover plate on. So I've gone ahead and taken that cover plate off. You can see the connectors on the back. Those will get plugged in. Currently, I don't have the correct clamshells for our 2U style, but as you can see from our 3U style battery pack, those clamshells just slide into the tray. It makes it much lighter for the installation to have those trays or clamshells removed. So you simply plug that up and close it up. After the battery sleeves are installed, it's safe to turn on the battery breaker.